in general, all of the similarities for empaths are the same. We're very highly intuitive, very sensitive, hyper vigilant, all of those things we are, even before we were awakened. As we awaken, we just know how to channel those gifts. We had them before, but narcissists knew that they could capitalize on us because we didn't know ourselves the way we know ourselves now. But a dark empath, as opposed to just an empath who's, not dark. And I guess some empaths may not even have I think all empaths, like anybody, have the capacity to become dark if pushed. And this is what a dark empath generally is. Someone who is pressed to act out of character. They're pushed to a point where they have no resolve. They don't have any way out. And a narcissist will do this to you on purpose. The more good they see in you, the more evil they become. But a dark empath, equally, even when they go dark, it is not something that they take delight in. They don't take delight in ripping you a new rear end, but however they will serve you up a can of whoop, you know what, on a paper plate. As I was saying before, no forks, no spoons. Because we have come to a point where we recognize that the person or persons have done things to us deliberately, repeatedly, repetitive, to cause us harm or hurt, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological. And this is when an empath has determined that a narcissist has not had their best interests at hand and has been plotting their demise. A lot of times, dark empath won't actually go in on you physically or even verbally. Other side of that dark empath is a silent dark empath. If they deal with that aggressor, assaulter, or that person that has caused them any harm, they will sometimes do it in silence, but they'll do it strategically. Myself, when I discovered what I did was what we consider covert, quiet as a mouse. It wasn't confrontational, unless you count the day that they called me a bitch 3 or 4 times in the presence of my little kids. And I think that was them wanting me to strike. Because bear in mind, I have a criminal record of domestics from the 90s. And so that would have played right into their hand. So they know your past. And they know what they need to use to capitalize. So the subtle dark empath may not always telegraph or publicize or even make it known to the person what they're going to do to right that wrong. It's not about revenge when an empath goes dark. It's about the justice that the empath innately knows that has to come to pass. And generally it's a situation where there is no alternative for the empath to take but to destroy, dismantle, whatever you want to use in that brain. Because you that empath realizes that this entity doesn't have my best interest at hand. In fact, this entity would rather see 6 feet under. And a lot of times in a domestic situation, a narcissist will push an empath into a situation whereas that empath has no choice but to defend and conquer. So there's multiple scenarios where an empath can go dark. That's just a couple of them that come to mind. If I ponder long enough, I'm sure there'll be a lot of other scenarios that we can play out. It is not a good thing when an empath goes dark on the recipient side. It's just not good. And an empath going dark, a lot of times, it will cause grief. It will grieve an empath heavily. Even to have to go, it will grieve. Although justified in whatever measures that are taken, that empath will be grieved within their spirit. Narcissists, on the other hand, they will salivate foam from the mouth with a little silly, wily coyote grin on their face when they disagree. I'll give you a perfect example of an empath that goes dark. I say this a lot, and I just believe that this is a perfect example of dark empath. When you push him, Denzel Washington in the movie Book of Eli. When he asks the guy, or the guy grabs him, or touches him, or pushes him in the movie with his hand. He lays his hands on Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington stoically, deliberately, calmly tells him, if you touch me with that hand again, you won't get it back. And what does this dark entity do? He laughs, shoves it off, looks around at his friends, because they need an audience, right? And so he does it. He touches him again. And no sooner as he touches him, he looks down on the ground and he sees his arm or his hand has been cut off at the wrist, I think. So it was not a good thing for Denzel Washington to have to do that, but he did it. And the guy was forewarned, but he didn't take the heed. And an empath will warn you. Don't do that again. We want peace. We don't want chaos. But we'll have peace by any means necessary. We don't care what it takes. We'll get the peace that we desire in our life. How's it going, guys? I had to get off that live earlier because, thanks for the hearts. I had to get off of that live because I was going back into Canada. And right now, brother can't be doing that. How you doing there? Driving a little bit here, trying to see. And these are not the magnified glasses, so I'll just say hello. How you guys doing? I can read I think I can read the letters. Yeah. Yo, what's up? So we're talking about an empath and a dark empath. The differences. The similarities are majority the same. An empath has high levels of intuition, introspective. We're hyper vigilant, and we definitely have we feel things physically that other people are going through. That's an empath at the core. But the dark empath, as we were talking about, they really don't play the radio. And I just don't think people, they just generally, even empaths that meet empaths that go dark are confused or are not, when I say confused, an empath that's not aware that they're an empath, like you and I were, and we see someone act out of character, in the Matrix mindset, we would be looking at that empath that went dark, thinking that they're behaving badly, and we won't be able to make sense out of it. Instead of looking at all the dynamics of what's going on, we would just assume that, wow, I've never seen him act that way. And we would think that something is wrong with that dark empath to the point where we felt like they were the one at fault. Guys, I don't see my, okay, here we go. Just wanted to make sure I'm still on. We got 10 miles to go. Just have to make sure I don't get lost while I'm on live. Trying to juggle two things at once, but I won't be back until tomorrow. At this point, maybe Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Just gonna go up and drop these packages off and turn around. So much work to do back home. But they turned me around the Canadian border. So the empath, generally speaking, is just we're fellow people. We're givers, not takers. We contribute to life. We don't really take away from society. We are healers. We're not people that are set on hurting deliberately. Although sometimes we do hurt people, we offend people. Sometimes we justify it. When we introspect into ourselves, we start doing all the inner work, and we realize that, yeah, that might not be the best way to handle this situation. Narcissists never have that conversation. They're justified in everything they do. So the dark empath, as I was saying on the last live, go check it out. It's just a couple of things I was naming, but they meaning the narcissists, don't want no part of the dark empath. They think they do. They think they do, but they don't. Just an empath in general is not to be monkeyed around with, because the energy and the aura we possess, once we snatch that away from a narcissist and take our power back, our self-awareness, and really just level up, that is a death sentence to the narcissist. The empath wants to take back our life and remove ourselves from a narcissist's life. It's like taking that binky away from a baby who's heavily dependent on it for soothing, for calming. That's what you are to a narcissist. You're that binky that the baby has to have around their neck. You ever seen a 6-7-year-old kid running around with a bottle? I've seen this. That's a narcissist running around with empaths under their arm, trying to appear like they're the shish. But they don't even know how to hold their bladder. They don't even know how to change their own without you. It's like seeing eye dog, guys. I'll make a video about narcissists. When the empath is awakened, we're like cadaver dogs.